What is going on, y'all? This is the Caveman. I'm here with Football with Oz Austin for episode 75 of Against the Blitz. And today we are going to be looking back on all of the big offseason trades, signings, transactions that went down, and seeing how they've kind of aged throughout the course of the season. I think at this point we have a pretty good grasp on how most of these signings are impacting their respective teams. So it's going to be interesting to look back and see which ones we overreacted about, which ones we didn't quite realize would have the effect that they did, and just really reflect. But before we get into it, of course, join the Discord server linked down in the description if you want to talk more football with us. Fantasy football playoffs are on the horizon. If you have start-sit questions, there's a plethora of heavy fantasy football players in there to answer any of those questions for you. So let's get right into it. Austin, where do you want to start? Because there were a lot of moves on the free agent carousel this offseason.
If I were to pick one, I want to go to the one that I think people were the most wrong about. And I think that's Geno Smith being traded to the Raiders for a third-round pick. And the general consensus was like, yeah, hell yeah, good for the Raiders. Like, this is an offense now. Hell yeah. And then for the Seahawks, people are like, what are you guys doing? What's your plan? For a third-round pick, really? But if I gave the Raiders a grade, I'm giving them an F thus far for the Geno. And the Seahawks get an A+ for moving off of him and getting a third-round pick for it.
Yeah, I was one of those people that were in the Raiders camp. I think most people were like, yeah, this is a smart move. Pete Carroll gets to pair back up with Geno Smith, and this could be a relatively decent team in 2025. But, I mean, my God, I don't think it could have gone worse. I gave it a C- from the Raiders' perspective, simply because I think there are a lot more things that are just going so wrong that are just sending Geno into the toilet, and he just is not handling it very well. He's quite literally spiraling. So I gave some grace on that front. But, yeah, this is a guy that at the age of 35 was acquired for a third-round pick and then extended for 66.5 guaranteed. Like, holy shit, man. It could not have – it just could not have gone worse. The guy has thrown 12 touchdowns to 13 picks.
Oh, my God.
Is ranked 30th out of 32nd starting quarterbacks in EPA per dropback. Like, it has been just atrocious from an on-field perspective and off the field. I mean, he's been as immature – from our perspective as I think he could be. Like, it doesn't seem like he's being a leader. He's once again in press conferences bitching and complaining about how he's blamed for everything. Did you see that clip? Yeah, did you see that?
No.
There's a clip circling of him after this past game saying, yep, you can blame me for your dog not getting walked and your dishes not being washed. just blame me. I'm like, bro, you cannot be serious. Like, maybe I just took it out of context, but he said it. Those words were still said. And I'm like, dude, like, get over yourself here.
No, I do agree. And I totally understand not fully punishing them with the grade. I'm not even punishing Geno with the F grade. I'm punishing the Raiders for the F grade. Yeah. Because it's not even about anything in between. It's just about the result. So it's like you gave up a third and extended the shit out of this guy. What happened? And right now, like you said, 12 touchdowns to 13 picks? That's an F to me, to give up a third for a 35-year-old quarterback, extend him, give him, 2 seasons worth of guarantees. That's a lot. And like, when you do that and immediately come draft season, you're probably still thinking about taking a quarterback in the first round. That's really bad. That's just a bad allocation of resources, where a team like them, like, they couldn't afford to do that. On top of drafting a running back in the first round last year, who also quite hasn't lived up to, our hoped standards. They still are not in position to build their line after all this time. And it's bad. It's really, really bad.
It's a lot worse than I think anybody really could have imagined. But
yeah, of all my issues with the Raiders, they were not quarterback and running back at all.
No, not in the least. And I was asking myself, like, going back to that time period, who were the Raiders' other options? Of course, like, the Daniel Joneses were out there. Sam Darnold was out there. But then I remembered that Matthew Stafford ran into Tom Brady at a ski resort. And that was a whole thing. Like, Stafford to Vegas was kind of a thing. Like, before the Rams were going to decide to go all in again. they were like, maybe we'll just trade the old man, and he would have ended up in Vegas. And seeing this reality, just wondering what the alternative would have been if Stafford ended up there and the offensive line is shit and the receivers are bad. Like how much would we have missed out on? Like we are watching some of the best football in Los Angeles right now. How depressing would it have been if Stafford just got shipped off there to die?
27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He is having one of the most efficient seasons that in that sense, like ever. And I think when you ask the question is like, who else would it have been? Looking at how Geno's done right now, literally anybody. Yeah. And I'm not saying they would do better. Like if you threw Jameis in there, if he was your guy, like he might not be doing better than that. He might be doing the same for significantly cheaper. Mm. And it's not to say like, yeah, obviously hindsight, like going into this, we thought of Geno as a top 15 quarterback in the league easily. Something happened to him along the way. I don't understand, but this is one of the least explainable things ever, except for maybe the fact that his receivers just kind of suck and his line sucks. And they brought in a college coach that wasn't very good in his last NFL years in Chip Kelly. So it might be that. It might just be that he's, a 35, 36-year-old quarterback. Don't know, but it's bad. So F.
Yeah, it's all bad. I don't know if you've seen like some of the reports that have come out of Las Vegas also. There's like a rat in that building, like leaking not great information. Like, I guess the guard, Caleb Rogers, right? I think he was their third-round pick.
Kid, yeah.
They tried to start him in practice to prepare him, and I guess he was just so atrocious that they couldn't. Like, people are leaking this information from Las Vegas. It's just such a...
Well, they drafted 2 linemen. They drafted him and they drafted Charles Grant from William and Mary. And I liked Grant a lot. I don't know if he's played much this year, but it's like they invested 2 offensive line picks. Neither are playing. They invested 2 receiver picks in Jack Besh and Dante Thornton. Neither of them have really played or done much. Like 4 of their picks, they drafted 2 quarterbacks. Oh my God, they did. They drafted Cam Miller and Tommy Malo from Montana State.
Right. Yeah, everyone's
turned him into a receiver that never played.
Yes.
So like that's, I mean, how many picks did I just name that?
Oh my God, how bad was this draft class?
Are not contributing to this offense. And then Genty, the running back, is obviously like he was a very high end talent, but he hasn't really hardly been what he was supposed to be because of the offensive line.
Oh my God.
Is this like a generationally bad draft class?
This might be why the Raiders are bad for the next 12 years. It went Genty in the first, Jack Besh in the second, Darian Porter in the third, Caleb Rogers also in the third. Is Charles Grant also a third-round pick? They had 3 third-round picks.
I think he was like the last. He might have been one of the last ones.
Yeah, he was picked 99. You're right. Dante Thornton was a 4th. Tonka Hemingway.
I forgot about
tackle.
And they got JJ Pegues. I remember that.
Yes, they did.
So they doubled up the D tackle, and neither of them are really doing much either.
And then, they double up a quarterback, Tommy Mellott, Cam Miller, and then they ended it with Cody Lindenberg out of Minnesota in the 7th. The linebacker.
And I liked him, but I don't think he's played at all because their linebackers have actually been fine. Of all things, Devin White and Jamal Adams are fine. Yeah. They're good. I don't get it. Those guys are just fine, but it's double dipping at backup quarterback, especially when you already had Aiden O'Connell, and then you double dip at receiver, or you triple dip if they're talking about Tommy football being a receiver instead of quarterback. They drafted him to become a receiver. Like, I don't know who is responsible for drafting. I mean, it's Spytech, but like that's an insane game plan. They were way too confident in the rest of their squad.
Yeah, I don't know what they were cooking over there.
They didn't see any issues. They were like, DJ Glaze, that's our franchise right tackle. This interior line, this D tackle room, and they let Christian Wilkins go.
Yeah, for kissing somebody, like
for a smooch.
Like dudes are out here like beating women, but we in the NFL we crossed the line for kissing our teammate, like, and now he's blackballed. Like, there has to be more to that. He had to like stick his finger up someone's butt. Like, there had to be more.
I think that's happened. Richie Incognito was doing some rude stuff to his teammates. Like, who was that guy that punched Geno Smith that one time? Like,
oh man.
Like, people have done way worse stuff.
Who did punch him? I know the answer to this.
Let me look it up.
Oh
It
my
wasn't
God.
that receiver that I liked, was it?
It's gonna.
Oh, I
piss
actually
me
don't know
off.
this guy's name.
Wait.
I don't. I don't know this guy's name at all.
Fuck. Let me think.
It's not. He's definitely
What
not
position?
like a linebacker.
He's a linebacker.
His name's IK.
Oh, I can't compare.
Yeah.
Yes. I knew that.
Yes.
I did know that. I can't say
Yeah.
it, but yes, I forgot.
Yeah, he played for the Bills. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's yeah, I mean, if Christian Wilkins, if he was that bad, like they were just moving around this offseason like they had a freaking squad.
Mm-hmm.
And like they were drafting like they could throw these fun little pieces. Like, yeah, let's just draft a quarterback, an FCS quarterback, transition him into a receiver and just see what happens. Like, they were not in position to be drafting that way.
No.
Double dip at developmental linemen, double dip at receiver, and really not use either of them to their fullest extent. Darian Porter's a fun developmental corner. I think that he's shown some promise too, but like, he's not saving this draft class.
No.
And Genty hasn't been all pro level at all to save the draft class either.
Yeah, fuck me, man. Wow, what bad. This is a generationally bad offseason. The draft was bad. The free agency class was bad. The guys they hired, bad. Like, there was nothing that they acquired this offseason that was good.
Except their shitty defense. Their shitty defensive players that they brought in are actually doing fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Jamal Adams. Devin White is legitimately a good player now, all of a sudden.
Isn't Jermaine Pratt still there?
No, they cut him.
Oh, they cut him. He's somewhere else, though.
He went to the Colts.
He did. Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah, I guess I saw they put him on Drake London on like a wheel route.
Yes.
And he got dusted, but don't put Jermaine Pratt on Drake London. It's a simple math, but yeah, I think Geno Smith that gets an F for me. I think the Raiders' entire season and offseason also got an F.
Yeah, agreed. Like, if we do that sort of series, we already know where we're going with that grade F, flat out.
Yeah, and part of the reason I was able to give the Seahawks a good grade is not only because they got a third-round pick for a quarterback that's doing so bad, but they also got a pretty good scenario out of Sam Darnold for a pretty decent contract. So I also gave that one an A.
Yeah, I gave this an A++ if I could. I mean, especially given the context of the Geno stuff, right? They basically flip-flopped Geno for Darnold, and Sam is 7 years younger. He's like 28. He might be 29 now, but at the time he was 28, and his guarantees, I think, were $10 million less throughout the course of the next few years.
He has guarantees for the first season.
Yeah.
He had a good out where, like, if he sucked, they could just call it like a 1-year deal and let him go.
Yeah.
But now they're going to want to hang on to all 3 years, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a far more attractive contract for a relatively comparable quarterback, and at this point, the better quarterback. So it's hard not to give this an A+, barring the expectation preseason. And this is a guy that has them contending. Like, I have been critical of Darnold lately. I don't know if I believe in him, but the bottom line is he's like 4th in EPA per play amongst quarterbacks. This team is 7-3. They have the second best point differential in football, and he's developed this relationship with JSN that's catapulted him into offensive player of the year conversations. It's like, what else could you possibly ask for this bridge quarterback that you signed just hoping he could get you through the year? Like, it's been perfect.
Yeah. Like, they've had a fantastic offseason, and they were a team that I thought, were kind of disappointing last year. And they came into this year, and a lot of people were kind of down on him, mostly because of Darnold. And I mean, he hasn't been like an A+ quarterback, but like you said, given the circumstances and what they had to work with, to get rid of Geno and then not really have, a set plan, like, they weren't guaranteed to get Darnold. He didn't have to sign with them. If someone else offered him 45, they might have been screwed. But they landed him, and he's been good, just generally good. Like, he's not, he's not an all-star. He's not an all-pro, but he's good. He's been solid. He's had a couple games where, like, he looks very much the part. That's all you can ask for that contract, especially in today's age where people like Purdy are getting $55 million. Like, to get a $30-something million deal for a quarterback that's playing at a pretty high level, elite. Fantastic signing.
Absolutely. A big one to turn around the Seahawks, who have been kind of like in this weird.
But like Drew Lock.
Yeah, right. They've been like floating in this gray area for a bit now. Like, oh, they found Geno, but they really couldn't do much with it because the defense wasn't great and the offensive line was bad. Like, they're finally like getting some traction with Mike McDonald too. So,
I was looking back at Geno's production from last year. Like on paper, like as a box score watcher, it looks generally like pretty bad.
Yeah,
he had 21 passing touchdowns to 15 interceptions. So like even talking about Darnold's interceptions, like he's already almost at 21 touchdowns. So even if he gets the interceptions that match it, like he's at least on par, if not better, production wise than Geno. Factor in the 3rd round pick that they got for him, the age, the contract, like they've upgraded exponentially when you look at the big picture. Absolutely.
They scammed the Raiders.
They did. Completely scammed Spytech. Schneider does it. He was once like the best GM in the game, and then he had a stretch where he was drafting like LJ Collier in the 1st. They had a really bad stretch, and then he's been damn rock solid the last like 3, 4, 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even though he passed on Jalen Carter for Devin Witherspoon, which I still cannot believe happened, it still has worked out.
Good.
Yeah,
like, he's actually like genuinely good, and I get it because Carter like allegedly, like let his friend die, like like things happen that are bad, like I can see the vision why you would not want to draft that on your team. Like he didn't just like smoke a blunt like Tunsil. He straight up like got involved in a terrible speed racing accident. But
yeah,
regardless, Witherspoon's still also like a Pro Bowl corner and one of the best nickels in the game. So I can't like critique that bad.
No, I can't either. I just couldn't. I remember my mock. Like I was so confident. I had the first 4 picks right that year. I think I had like the first 6 or 7 correct. And I look back, and I'm like, oh my God.
Stop?
I genuinely didn't do that. I wasn't gonna. I really am trying to. I'm trying to grow up. I'm trying so hard to grow up. Like I was gonna just scan over it and not say words. I was just so shocked they didn't end up going with him because that was the year they needed defensive tackle help too.
Like, they did,
like really bad.
And then they got Byron Murphy last year, who's a freaking baller. He's killing it. Like, this isn't the Seahawks episode by any means, but like, fucking good for them, dude. I love that team.
I know there's really no reason not to like Seattle, really.
No, unless you're just dumb.
Yeah. Well, there were a lot of dumb teams that did a lot of dumb things. And I mean, if we want to go on a rant about a team in particular, there's a lot to kind of eat off the Steelers' bone with their offseason.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think my issue, if I have an issue, they had a lot of things. We talk about the Jonnu, Minkah, Ramsey trade, trading away Pickens, then trading for DK. But like when you frame it as like, I'm in win now mode, and then they get rid of Pickens, and we see how good Pickens has been in Dallas and how freaking mediocre DK's been. They even did this bad from a win now perspective. Like Pickens would have definitely rather been the win now guy for sure.
Agreed. Like the confusing part to me is I get, and I know this is what Steelers fans will say, the argument is Pickens didn't want to be there. He was being a problem, but this kid at the time was probably 23, maybe 24, like he is now. He's on the upswing of his career, and you are at best going to just replicate that production with Metcalf, who's on the downswing, who's looking for a massive contract. It didn't make any sense when Metcalf in Seattle was coming off of a down year to begin with, and you bring him in to be the sole option, the sole receiver, where he struggled to be that dominant number one with the Seahawks, a heavy passing offense. Like he already was slipping out of wide receiver 1 status, and to bring him in to be that, pay him all of that money, and just ship off Pickens because you didn't like his attitude. I don't know. Usually Mike Tomlin gets it right. I think he could have tried to right the ship with Pickens a little bit harder because this is a top 10 receiver in football right now, like comfortably.
Yes. Like it's not even just production wise. He legitimately looks better than CeeDee Lamb. Like right now when they play, he looks like one of the best receivers in the game. And he's, like you said, he's 24 years old. He still has a couple years before he might even be in his actual prime. If you want to go the argument of he didn't want to be here, sure. But you should have freaking made him want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why you just have to punt on that and kick him out and then find another option, make DK like the third highest paid receiver in the NFL for him to be putting up below average wide receiver 1 numbers. Like there were so many different ways they could have gone to get that kind of production, and for him to show up every like 4 games and go off is not enough. So definitely like those 2 trades weren't together. Like they weren't part of the same trade, but you could almost kind of frame them that way because it was kind of just like a 1-for-1 replacement. So I gave the Cowboys an A+. I mean, hell, give up that pick for Pickens. He's damn near your best player right now. And the Steelers, for that trade, I gave them a C- because they got a pick for a guy that won't come home. But they're a worse team because of it.
Yeah, I gave the Cowboys an A+ too. That was another move that like you have a lot of hope for, but no one really knew if it was going to work out the way that we all thought it might or could, and it's come through perfectly. So A+ clearly, and then from a Steelers perspective, I mean, yeah, I guess a C- because you do get a pick back, but it just really does, when you look back on it, make no sense. You could have found a way to make it work, like you were kind of alluding to, because this was clearly the more talented receiver. And I don't think that was a hot take then, and it's certainly not a hot take now. But, you know, Mike Tomlin is set in his ways. He doesn't like you, or he wants to do what he wants to do, and then sure.
Isn't it funny? Like, have you heard shit about Pickens this year?
No.
I haven't heard him say a peep. I haven't heard him argue. I haven't heard a single teammate hate him. Like I haven't seen him on the field fighting everybody, like how DK has been kind of. I have not seen any kind of off the field issues. So it might just be more of a Steeler problem than anything, because they seem to have this all the time. Claypool had issues. AB had issues. Juju started kind of having issues, and he's been a Saint ever since. It might just be a Steeler problem, because he's been, for the Cowboys, this has been one of the best things they could have possibly ever done.
Yeah, literally. And this is before the extension too. It's like we're talking about a trade they made for basically a rental to some extent.
Yeah.
Like this could end up being long term, but it's not even to that. Like they gave away picks for 1 year of George Pickens, and it's already worth it. And the season's not even done yet.
The only reason it might suck is because they didn't extend him earlier.
Yeah.
Because before you could have probably got him done for a pretty reasonable deal, but nowadays he might want that DK money. He might want that $30 million a year kind of money. And I won't even argue against it. I mean, he's been invaluable.
Well, yeah, from a Steelers perspective, though, it's over. Like, I don't know where you go from here, but Metcalf is going to need a running mate if you want to make him effective. And this whole, you know, sit Metcalf on the boundary and hope he wins one-on-one or hope he beats the bracketed coverage. He hasn't had more than 5 catches in a game all year. Like, it's done with. Just you got to figure out how to get that right, because you gave him way too much money to let this kind of rot the way it is currently.
Yeah, it's just so mediocre. And for a team that like framed everything as win now, like everyone was like, a lot of Steelers fans talked themselves into it because they're like, well, we have Watt still, we have Cam Hayward, like all of our guys are kind of getting older. We don't want to rebuild. Let's just kind of retool and win now. Like this is our time. And they might not even like make the playoffs. Like this is a they probably will, but this is such a lukewarm Steeler team that we've seen get demolished in the wild card every single season. Like they are no better. They're maybe slightly better, but to give up all that just to be where they're at now is no bueno.
No, it's not. And that kind of coincides with the Aaron Rodgers signing, which I gave a B. If you're looking at it contextually through the lens you're speaking of, which is reality, where you're trying to win now, but they never really had a chance to win now. They're not going to win jack shit, and it's all for nothing, then this is an F. But fine. If you want to live in Pittsburgh's delusional world, you're getting what you probably expect from Rodgers. He's 40, going on 41. He's not turning the ball over at an absurd rate. He doesn't look as bad as he did in New York. He's thrown for about 20 touchdowns. So he's making do with 3 tight ends in a mediocre running game and no receivers. So I think they've done a decent job on that front, but it depends on the lens you look at it through. Really.
It does. I also gave it a flat B because it's like from a win now perspective, yeah, that sucks bad. But their options were so bad. Like they had Russell Wilson, bring back Fields, or Rodgers, or rock with like Mason Rudolph or Will Howard. It was not like they had a nice buffet of young stud quarterbacks laying out there for him. And I think they picked the right one. I think Rodgers is better than any of those guys could have been for them. I mean, Russell Wilson's just getting himself booed to death. I actually really feel bad for him.
Me too.
And then Fields is also getting benched for a 36-year-old Tyrod Taylor. So not looking like anything else would have been any better. And I think he's been fine, like you said. I mean, considering they run like 13 personnel and just run DK down the field. Roman Wilson just tries hurdling people. Like there's not a lot of good going on here for him. So I think he's really, made some pretty mediocre lemonade with some pretty mediocre lemons. And it's been fine.
Yeah, agreed. Well, speaking of Justin Fields, that was one of the biggest names in the cycle this last offseason. And I mean, I was unfortunately someone that on videotape said that they had a lot of faith in the Jets, and Fields and what they were trying to do made a lot of sense. But yeah, in hindsight, giving Justin Fields at this point of his career a 2-year contract with $30 million guaranteed probably wasn't the most brilliant thing ever, because he's now benched. He is literally unstartable. He does not throw the ball down the field. He holds on to it for far too long. Everything we knew about Justin Fields and the bad has been just amplified here in New York.
That's what I wanted to say is, like, if he could even play if he played like he did as a Bear, he looks better than this. He looked better as a Steeler. It's something happening to his confidence in New York is awful. Like if he could just play confidently bad, he would be so much better. But he's scared bad, and that's so much worse. And I think I also had some optimism. I was like, man, like you could in theory create a really cool rushing attack, and they have. Like they run the ball well. But he's so much worse at passing than he's ever been in his career. And it's terrifying. So like I think I was cool with giving him a year to try it out. I liked the idea. The 2 years is the problem. The 2-year contract when you still didn't really know, that's the problem. He should have been on very much a prove it deal, and then we can, see what happens after that. But yeah, they kind of screwed themselves over with that one, because next year he's just going to be a expensive backup.
Yes, very much so. I mean, it just has to be an F. Like, there's no other.
F, yeah,
there's no other grade to give this one.
You can contextualize it by saying it's coaching staff's been bad and he has no receivers outside of Garrett Wilson, but give him a D- then. If you don't want it to be all his fault, he's been really bad.
Ooh, Tyler Higbee on IR. Release Terrence.
Release Terrence.
Let the dog out.
You know what's going to happen, dude. They run more 13 personnel than anybody. Like it's going to be Davis Allen. You and I both know it. He's going to catch 2 touchdowns next week, and then if it's not him, it's going to be Colby Parkinson. That's why I continue to mock the tight ends to the Rams, and I feel crazy every time. But I'm like, Higbee's going to walk. They're still going to run 13 personnel. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact.
Oh man, I was just asking myself, like, okay, there's Parkinson, there's Ferguson, and there's Higbee. So Higbee goes down, then who? But then there's Davis Allen. I forgot Davis Allen exists.
He's kind of nice too.
He's not bad. No, he's really
not. He is really not. Like that's kind of like I don't know. Like I feel like collectively they have one good tight end.
Yeah.
Because none of them are studs, but like collectively, all their skill sets combined, you make a pretty good tight end out of it. In that one big, tall, white tight end that they collectively create, probably gets like 75 yards and a touchdown every game.
I think I saw a stat where their tight end, the Rams tight ends, are on pace for like 21 touchdowns and like 1,200 yards on the year collectively.
That's what I mean. Like, yeah, they are one tight end and then there's 2 receivers. Like freaking Puka went down. Jordan Whittington didn't even get a second look.
I don't think they even put him on the field, bro.
No, they gave him three. They gave him 3 targets in the same drive, and then never targeted him again. That was insane.
The fantasy world was duped. We're like, oh, someone's gonna step in for Puka. Well, no, actually, just they're gonna roll a third tight end out there and call it.
Well, that's because like the week before when Puka got hurt, Jordan Whittington, he ended up with like a 65% like snap share. Like he was out there for sure. And then during this game, it was so much worse than that because they changed the game plan entirely and just ran 13 personnel and beat the Jags by like 50, but without Puka. But this kind of segues into how Davante Adams has played as a Ram and kind of how much better he's been than Cooper Kupp. So what did you give Davante signing with the Rams?
This is another A+. I actually made, which I forgot to post before this, now that I just realized it, a video talking about why the Rams are so good this year. And of course, Stafford's playing well. Of course, the defense is elevating. But the Rams last year ranked, I think, 20 something outside the top 20 in red zone conversion percentage into touchdowns. And it really felt like if you watched them, it was either Kyron on a dive or nothing, or they were kicking because they could not pass in the tight areas. It's like, this is a Sean McVay system, one of the best quarterbacks in the world, and they can't complete a fucking pass in the 10-yard painted area. Like, what's the deal? They go and acquire Davante Adams. All of a sudden, they are like 8th in that same metric. They have like a 14% increase in conversion percentage to touchdowns. And this guy has, I think, 18 total red zone targets on the year, or end zone targets, I'm sorry, which are, this can be anywhere on the field. He has 18 of those targets, 10 touchdowns. So he's just been a menace. And he might not have the speed that he used to. I think he's like got no yak on the year, but that twitch, that release is still very much alive. And he's still so impossible to guard in a phone booth. And when you have to worry about Kyron and then Davante, who you really can't leave one-on-one or it's a death sentence, as we're all figuring out, you're going to score a lot of touchdowns. And that is exactly what has happened. That's why they are 6th in points for now compared to like 20th like they were last year.
Yeah, I mean, Davante Adams throughout his career, I think however the average person thinks about Davante Adams, multiply that by 3, and that's how good he's actually been like during those times. Like in peak Davante Adams era, I think he was the best receiver in the NFL. Even when Cooper Kupp was doing his shit, I don't care. Like I think Davante was the best at his time. And even last year, like people didn't really know because he played for the Raiders the last 3 years, but he was putting up still really good production, all things considered, having like Gardner Minshew as your quarterback. And then he comes to the Rams this year, puts up like the quietest 10 touchdowns this quickly I've ever seen. And he looked very much the part of a wide receiver one when Puka had to go down. He very much stepped up. And I love it because I think people felt that going from Kupp to him was kind of counterintuitive because they cut Kupp. They let him go. And then they just brought in another veteran. And everyone's like, what's the point then? You got rid of, a longtime Ram, one of your best players ever, for Davante Adams. And so far, it's very much proved that this is a severe upgrade.
Yeah, severe is, I would even say that's an understatement. And I saw someone say on Twitter that, which of course isn't true, but Davante Adams kind of won Aaron Rodgers a couple MVPs just because of how many touchdowns he was scoring in the red zone. Obviously, Rodgers is throwing the ball, but it's hard as a receiver to win that frequently down there. It is one of the most difficult things to do, no matter how fast you are, no matter how smart you are. You have to be a special type of separator. Your deception has to be, top notch. And Adams has all of that perfect blend to make him the perfect option in the end zone. And what are we looking at right now? Matthew Stafford, MVP type numbers. Like, could he go and win Matthew Stafford an MVP the same way he kind of won Aaron Rodgers one too? Like, is Davante the key to winning MVPs as a quarterback? Maybe.
I hope so. If so, send him to Cincinnati because that would be – we need an MVP there.
Holy shit, could you imagine?
I mean, we had freaking 50 touchdowns last season and still didn't even get a freaking vote, but
A plus comfortably though.
Yeah, A plus comfortably. And I think if I was to pick another one that I struggled with this grade, to be honest. The Commanders, who traded for 31-year-old Laremy Tunsil, the left tackle. They gave up a second, a third, a fourth, and a seventh between last year's draft and this upcoming draft in 2026. Actually, I don't even think it was. Was it 2026 and 2027?
The trade was no, it was just 2026. So it was a 2025 third and seventh and a 2026
25 and
26.
Fourth. Okay, so it was this last past draft and this upcoming draft. They gave up a second, third, fourth, and a seventh collectively for a 31-year-old, but also good left tackle.
Yes,
What'd you give that?
I went into this trade ready to rip it to shreds because personally, I was not thinking that this team was projecting out well to compete at all, even when healthy. Obviously, things have really crumbled since then, but I still just didn't understand it. But the more I looked at it, they gave up a lot of picks, but nothing that I thought was like, oh my God, how'd you give up that much pure value?
Yeah.
Like they still have both first rounders from these two respective drafts. They traded a second from the 2025 draft, but they still are going to be picking. I think you get between the 2 years, 6 total picks in the top 100. Mm-hmm. They have 4 of them still, or at least will have had 4 picks respectively. So I don't think they really gave up too much, and it helps when in a vacuum, Tunsil is, I think, having a career year as far as I'm concerned. Like at least he's playing near his best. So
yes,
if that wasn't the case, I think I would have been a little bit more harsh. But given the fact that I think they gave up more quantity than quality in picks, and Tunsil's playing this well, you just kind of got to hope that they're able to rebound quick so this doesn't go to waste.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I struggled, because Tunsil is playing very much worth this. Like he's very much being paid worth or being traded for, playing like a top 10 tackle in the league. But at the same time, the Commanders, like they have so many issues that you kind of like want to have all the picks you can get. Because by the time Tunsil's, not being good anymore, that might be in 2-3 years, but it just depends how you view your window. Because I think going into this, they probably felt that their window was like now. They have a lot of veterans. They're like the oldest team in football. And Jaden Daniels is still on a rookie contract. They had Terry coming in on his new contract. It looked great at first. And now it's looking a little bit bad in hindsight for them. Still, though, I gave it a B- for the Commanders because of how well he has played. Mm-hmm. Just future-wise, having a 31-year-old tackle and losing, I'm going to call it 3 picks. I don't even count sevenths. I'm going to call it 3 valuable picks for him. It's hard. But like you said, they still got a bunch of top 100 picks, and they still have both firsts. So not a huge deal.
I gave it a B- too. I realized I went on that whole rant and never even gave the grade. But I also gave it a B- because at the end of the day, point blank period, they have more holes. They have almost as many holes as like the Raiders do. So
yes,
not to have pure quantity of draft picks, that still sucks. So it's a double-edged sword, but ultimately I think it's hard to really fault them too much for this one.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't a left tackle, like I would probably hate on it.
Yeah,
but that's one of the most premium positions in football. Like people will give up an arm and a leg to find a cornerstone left tackle. The only problem is this isn't Rashawn Slater or Charles Cross. This is the 31-year-old Laremy Tunsil. If this was 3 years ago, my grade would be an A+. But just I don't know how long he's got. Is my only problem.
Right, exactly. Like I think they probably envision at the time of the trade 2 to 3 years of good play, but
sure,
that could be all for naught. Like I don't see this team bouncing back and rebuilding that fast. So
no,
we'll see. I just realized we didn't get to the Steelers mega trade. Did we actually talk about that?
Briefly.
That was briefly. The Steelers swapped picks with the Dolphins, and the Steelers sent Minkah to Miami in return for Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey. I gave this from a Steelers perspective a B, and I gave it an F for Miami. And once again, this definitely matters, if you're looking at it through the delusional Pittsburgh win now lens or the reality lens. I chose, like I did for the Rodgers trade, to put myself in their shoes of like, okay, we're just going all in right now, so it makes sense. And Ramsey and Jonnu have been good to decent to good. So it ultimately is beneficial for them compared to what Minkah was giving them. So
yeah, but it's just strange seeing that Minkah's like good now.
mm.
Like he's like been playing like back to almost true Minkah level. Like I think that's actually genuinely how good he's been. And it's I don't know why he couldn't give that in Pittsburgh.
Mm.
But for some reason it's weird because Ramsey, it's a tale of two seasons for him because he has played well at safety and like that kind of new role he's playing, but it is a small sample size. It's kind of more of a newer thing. And he did have some games where he got shredded in the passing game. I mean, the first time he played Jamar, he had to switch positions. Like that's kind of how bad it went. So I do get it. But Jonnu, my issue with the Jonnu one is I fault the Dolphins for getting rid of a player that was so valuable to them. But at the same time, he is kind of nearly invaluable or unvaluable to the Steelers right now. I mean, he has like hardly over 200 yards on the season, kind of like their tight end 3. I feel like Connor Hayward gets as much love as Jonnu does nowadays. So I don't give the Steelers a lot of credit for that. But at the same time, it was strange for Miami to give up a guy that had like 850 yards and 8 touchdowns for them last season. And I think you're seeing that on their offense, why they're struggling more. But he also really hasn't helped the Steelers a lot. It was just a trade for absolutely nothing. And at that point, you have a good safety in Minkah and now a good safety in Ramsey, and you just freaking swapped them. So I give both the C+ for the sake that I don't think either team got better or really much worse.
That's a fair point. Like, I guess it depends on what Jonnu is now, but I guess I'm confused also why Miami perhaps, they're trading for Minkah. Why, I don't really know. But if you're trading for Fitzpatrick, wouldn't that insinuate that you're still trying to keep the glue together here? Like, you're not trying to tear everything down. You're trying to maybe do your best to win games. So why, like you said, why wouldn't you keep Jonnu Smith then? Why wouldn't you just, I guess, pay him? I can't imagine. I don't know if he got paid this offseason. Did he?
I don't think so. I mean, he's 31.
So
he's old.
I just don't get why they wouldn't have maintained him. They literally centered their offense around the run after catch ability of Jonnu Smith. And for them just to trade him away for a safety that, wasn't playing that well at the time, at least, who's been good, just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. One of the most bizarre trades ever. It's like a Madden trade.
It was very much a Madden trade where like, I don't think either team can sit here and like talk to me and tell me they really won that trade. I think like you can close your eyes and squint and look at it from certain angles and convince yourself of your team winning the trade. But regardless, you just traded a bunch of 31-year-old rotational players. It's weird. It's really weird to do. Like, involve some picks, involve some youth maybe for me to get excited. But I don't think either team just swapping around a bunch of 30-year-old DBs really gets me super hype.
It really doesn't. Like, this is one of those trades that I see happen, and I instantly tell myself I could have done better than that, or I could have done that at least at minimum. And I hate when people say, "Oh, you're on the couch, you're not the one on the field, or you're not the one like with the job." It's like, so what? Just because these guys are credentialed doesn't mean they automatically are like the end all be all, or they know everything. Like, there are a lot of fucking morons that are executives in the NFL. A lot of them.
Yes.
Believe it or not.
The Bengals GM, for instance, has the best defensive lineman we've drafted since Geno Atkins is Sam Hubbard. Number 2 behind him is probably Chris Jenkins. Like, it's that bad. And like my hit rate, I know for a fact would be higher than that. I know for a fact it would be. That's insane. Like, yeah, I could get my job saved by drafting Jamar and Joe Burrow top 5. Sure, save my job. Like, it's so infuriating.
Yeah, and like I look at, if I was like a liaison for let's say Washington, for example, I'd be like, yo, this isn't going to work. Don't trade for Tunsil. There's no point. The season's shot. Like, you're not going to compete. Obviously, they would never listen to me, but like,
Sure.
I don't know. I just feel like sometimes there's like a lens that these teams look at things through, and they refuse to. Well, this goes down the rabbit hole of these guys trying to save their jobs and they're winning. They're trying to stay in office. So whatever. But bottom line, just because someone is hired in the NFL or played in the NFL doesn't mean they're automatically smarter than someone else. That was my spiel. The final transaction that we were going to touch on was the Patriots signing Stefon Diggs. And for me, I was pessimistic on the Patriots. I really missed on the AFC East big time. And I was not high on New England. A big reason was because of the weapons. It's like Diggs is a phenomenal player, has always been. But coming off of an ACL injury on a team where there's really not much else to be excited about, a quarterback that we had a lot of hope in, but not sure what he'd be like in year two. How impactful could this be? Like, 600 yards, maybe a couple touchdowns. Like, that's kind of what I had in mind. But this guy just has a knack for developing relationships with quarterbacks, and coming off of an ACL, you'd never be able to tell. So another A+ from me.
I gave it the same. And I know you touched on it a lot before the season of why you might have some optimism with that move was the fact that he loves to be the savior. Like, that's Diggs' entire thing is he comes in, you're a team that really needs a receiver. You really need help. You really need help developing your quarterback. And he makes that like his full-time job. He's not a receiver out there to collect stats. He's out there to just develop your quarterback and win you games. Like that's what he likes to do. And I do appreciate that about him. I think he does value winning more than anything. And he gets really upset if he doesn't win. So I like that about him. I think that he's been even more impactful than people could imagine for this team. Like, I know Kayshon Boutte and Mac Hollins have been shockingly good, but at the same time, I don't think they're as good if Stefon Diggs is not garnering as much attention as he does.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, he leads the Patriots in targets with 71. I think Hunter Henry's second with like 49. So he's been comfortably the top target there. And he's 14th in receiving yards in the NFL, 6th amongst receivers in EPA. Total EPA gained. It's like he really has been the savior is the perfect word. And I have always been sour on how things ended with him in Buffalo, but he really has to be up there in top receivers of the decade. Like, he brings from a team perspective too, like the energy he provides, there's just something about him. Like, I was at the rivalry game where the Bills played the Patriots on Sunday night. This guy, like, during the national anthem is like jumping, like freaking out. Like, he's just, you can see the energy oozing off of him, and it just is so contagious. And I think that is something that the Bills probably do miss quite a bit because they don't really have that sort of energy. Not many teams do, but obviously it's contagious in New England's locker room. Big time.
Yeah.
I forgot one more. Joey Bosa. That was that we wanted to talk about. What did you give the Joey Bosa signing?
I think I gave it a B out of just like confusion. Because like he had like that injury to start off, and then he's fine now. And he's been kind of impactful, but he hasn't been the Joey Bosa. But he hasn't been a full shell of himself either. So I don't really know what to take from this. I think it has been better than not making the move at all. So I do give it a B. Like, I think there is a positive out of this, but still nothing crazy impactful.
Yeah, it's been, I think that high upside that everyone was kind of hoping for when they signed him. I always thought that was kind of a fever dream, like expecting Bosa to return to, early career Joey before all the injuries kind of struck him. Like, I always thought that was a stretch, a high risk, high reward kind of thing, but I never really thought it was attainable, to be frank. But he has been solid. He's made plays. The biggest thing for me that I ragged on with this whole signing, and I feel like I owe it to the universe to kind of fess up a little bit, is that he hasn't been hurt. He hasn't missed. I don't think he's missed a game. Like, he missed like 2 months over the offseason, and everyone was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, I thought he was done for.
Yeah.
He had the injury to start off, and I thought he was like, oh my God.
Yeah. But he hasn't missed any time. Bills fans are ripping their hair out watching him try to read a read option between Lamar and Derek in week 1. But other than that.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like, holy fuck, I was ready to jab my eyes out. Like, dude, please, please just make the right
better
decision.
now. I haven't watched a lot of Joey Bosa tape from the last, 5 weeks, but from everything I've heard, it's just been solid. I know he's racked up a couple sacks. I think he's up to 4 or 5 now.
Yeah.
I mean, you take that.
Yeah, he's not wrecking games by any means, but he also isn't saving this defensive front either, because a big positive to signing him was supposed to be his run defending ability. And I'm not going to say he's been bad, but we are the easiest defensive front to run against in the league right now, and Joey Bosa's on it, and he plays. So he's clearly not making that much of a difference either. So I would say it's been, depending on your expectations preseason, underwhelming. But the fact that he's playing makes it enough for me to feel like I missed on my projection for it. So,
and that's fair. I mean, if your projection was, I hate this freaking guy because he doesn't even stay on the football field, that's fair. That's disheartening to sign a guy that you're kind of predicting is already going to just fall short and die.
Yeah.
for him to at least be alive and contributing to your football team in a meaningful way, bravo. That's all we need.
I agree. Well, if there were any signings that you thought of late episode here you wanted to get to, then we could.
Nothing off the top of my head. I want to take a look at a few of these in case something came up that wasn't a big deal at the time. I know there was a lot of them that kind of were huge deals at the time, and because of we were missing football, God, I heard the name Will Fries once a day. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, I need Will Fries. I need Will Fries." And then I haven't heard shit about him the entire season. No one's talking about Will Fries.
Well, when I was looking through the list, the Drew Dahlman was another big one.
Oh my God, that never stopped.
That never stopped with Drew Dahlman, and him and Joe Thuney, the interior offensive line in Chicago, has done a solid job. So I would say, as a collective, probably a high B, low A for the way that's panned out for Chicago. Milton Williams, I forgot about that one, to the Patriots. That was a big one. That was a big splash. He was somebody that I think a lot of the concern with him was whether or not he'd be able to be a full-time defensive tackle. In Philadelphia, he was more so the situational pass rusher, but he has been a good job. He's done a good job being more of a well-rounded presence inside. So I think that has been well worth the money for New England. I can't really think of many other ones though.
You know what I kind of realized though is I don't think Cordero Patterson's on a team.
Really?
Yeah. Remember the Steelers released him and he said he said something funny online about it. I think he acted shocked. He was like, "Whoa, really?" And then I don't think he's on a team anymore. I think right. I think the team that we could create out of current free agents is actually kind of nice. Christian Wilkins is our D tackle for sure. And then
look at this.
I do want to put this together. Hold on. If I was to make a team of current free agents, I feel like there's a decent bit of guys out there. Brandon Scherf, put him at guard for sure.
I gotta find where
Justin Simmons is out there still. Stefon Gilmore, dude, we're putting together a secondary.
Where's this list? Free agency tracker.
Okay, our quarterback might be Jeff Driscoll. So he might be in trouble.
I think I'd rather go with. I think Taylor Heineke would be where I go.
I didn't even see he was out there still.
I think that would be my go-to.
You don't want Jake Fromm?
No, I'm good.
I forgot.
That was a big deal in Buffalo for a short time.
I remember
Jake Fromm.
Yeah, I mean, running back, you got Jamal Williams, Gus Edwards, Zach Moss. There's a couple names out there that you could flirt with. Receiver, Nelson Aguilar, Tyler Boyd,
Odell,
Allen Robinson's all over Twitter right now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Grant Dubose. I thought he was going to be good. Yeah, you get like CJ Uzama, Hayden Hurst is out there. There's a shocking amount of guys that are like especially like the DBs. I was shocked to see like Stefon Gilmore still out there. Cam Sutton's still
Cam
there.
Sutton, I just saw
Caleb
that.
Farley. Poor Caleb Farley.
Kendall Fuller is still available, really?
Yeah, Justin Simmons, Marcus Williams. Oh my God, John Johnson. What a guy.
This might be a Twitter post. Maybe we can put like a...
We should. Von Bell? No, hell no.
Von Bell.
Oh, fuck Von Bell.
Lewis Seen made
the densest safety of all time.
Lewis Seen caught the greatest college interception of all time and then just never
got it. Yeah, first round pick Lewis Seen.
Yeah.
God, he was a first round NFL draft pick.
Yes, he was.
That's insane.
Who else? Is there anybody else? If I was a general manager, I needed a running back, I would call Leonard Fournette just because I love him. I would just want Leonard Fournette.
I have no opinion on current day Leonard Fournette. He's got to be big. He's got to be so big now. He started getting big towards the end.
He definitely ain't working out no more. No way.
No way. Not even on him. I respect that. Fucking retire. You made your mills. Go lay down. I'm not going to get on you about that.
One of my all-time favorite players, Leonard Fournette. I fucking love that guy.
Is there a reason for that?
He just, like, the energy he played with. Like, I'll never forget seeing him in his rookie year, like, wave to the DBs coming up to tackle him. Like, that was awesome. He just
he is in shape still.
Really?
Let's go. Yeah, he looks the exact same as when he was in high school. But he looked old as shit in high school, so I don't really.
Yeah, he did. He always did look older.
We need more Leonard Fournettes in the NFL.
We do. I've always been a fan of those kind of burly bruisers,
just like big, angry, but like good for like 2 years. Like we need more. We need more Fred Jacksons. We need more. We need all kinds of these guys.
Yes. Well, Garrett Blount was like my favorite running back of all time for like a 365-day period. I loved Leonard Fournette.
That's fair.
Garrett Blount. So many of these just mid players. I am a mid player.
Giovanni Bernard was my favorite by far. If I put together the highlight tape for Giovanni Bernard, you wouldn't believe it. You think I AI'd that over Barry Sanders 1,000%.
College tape?
No, NFL. He made plays. He made plays that he made some plays that no one talks about. That they would be all over. They would be all over Twitter right now if they happened. And I'm gonna put together a list.
All I know is that Damian Martinez being available would have blown the preseason draft nerds away. Like,
yeah, I don't know how he's still available.
That guy, I don't think I've seen so much hype about a 7th round running back that is now a free agent in my life.
Of all the running backs that exist that are like currently in the NFL, and like I don't think Damian Martinez was bad in preseason, like at all. He was actually pretty good.
It was decent.
Like he was very, very sufficient for a 7th round back, especially when people are like with the back some of these people are running out with. Like I saw Travis Homer get a carry the other day. It was awful. It was so bad. There was no reason for that to be. He kept switching arms because he didn't feel comfortable. He didn't know what he was doing.
Like there's no Travis Homer.
Like there's no reason Damian Martinez can't be a team's body unless he told somebody he doesn't want to play teams. I don't get it. But I feel like also part of that was just him going to Seattle, who has like 5 good running backs.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, my bad, bro. We don't really need you anymore.
Oh, my God. Who is Shaquille Quarterman? Have you ever heard that name in your life?
Shaq Quarterman? Is he a linebacker?
Yes. Yeah. How do you know?
Did he go to Miami?
I don't ask. Please don't ask me. I have a fucking clue. Never heard of Shaq Quarterman in my life.
He did go to Miami.
Oh my God. When?
Like 20. Hold on.
Don't say pre-2020. Please don't.
2020.
Oh my God.
He was a 4th round pick.
Yeah, I guess it's not bad. That is wild that you knew that. Fucking wild.
You're not a ball knower if you don't know about Shaq Quarterman.
He's too irrelevant to even be a slideshow participant. Like,
I think he's a good litmus test of ball knowledge. You don't know Shaq Quarterman, you don't know ball.
I feel like that's so unfair. But at the same time, like those TikTok slideshows that'll be like, do you remember or we've forgotten about, and then it'll be like Gio Bernard. It's like, come on. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Yes. I
qualify.
had his jersey, dude, you idiot. If you do like Jordan Shipley, people might not, or Dane Sanzenbacher, people might not know who that is.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You don't know Dane Sanzenbacher?
No, I don't.
Oh, that's sad. He was awesome.
Oh my God. Andrew Booth. Wasn't he another Viking?
Yeah. Also like a first round pick.
Yeah. What the fuck? Why?
Did he end up going first round? I thought he fell.
He
But like was talked about as a first rounder.
Yes, I think he fell.
I think he was a second round pick.
Correctly.
But he was supposed to go in the first. And then I don't think he did. A second rounder, 42nd, still like a high end prospect. That's crazy that he sucks. He had one of the craziest college interceptions I've ever seen.
Oh, was it him? No, it was Lewis Cine that went to Clemson. He had the one-handed catch, right?
No.
Oh, it's Booth.
Booth went to Clemson.
Oh, Booth had the
Cine
Clemson
Cine went to Georgia.
Yes.
Cine was a safety. Booth was a corner.
Okay. I had him backwards. I knew they were connected. They both went to Minnesota. That's why.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we went on that rant. That was fun. Well, if you guys have any thoughts, comments, concerns, leave them down in the comment section. You can join our Discord linked in the description as well. But I forgot the outro. If there's just enjoy, I guess. See y'all in the next one. I think that's what I say, right? Peace.